Hello everyone, welcome to Mastermind. So this is Reading Comprehension part 5. Till now we have discussed 4 parts in the Reading Comprehension. So this will be part 5. So the same schedule which we were following before, which is reading the questions before, and then we'll go and read the passage, and then we'll try to answer the questions. So let us look at the questions here. So there are 5 questions. First question: what is the common objection to the interpretation that cancer cells are selfish? See here, by reading this, we get to know that it will be science related passage related to science. Okay, so it might be related to definition, or they might be giving 2 or 3 phenomenon, and they might be relating one to one phenomenon, another to another phenomenon, like that. So, what is the common objection or objections to the interpretation that cancer cells are selfish? So, they have mentioned that cancer cells are selfish, and what you can defend by saying that. Okay, cancer cells are abnormal, cancer cells are perhaps infected with a virus, cancer is a disease, all of the above. So, we have to read this because it is related to science. We have to go back to the passage only, because you never know what kind of statements they have mentioned or what kind of research that person has done yet. Next question: when there is conflict between cells and the body they reside in, cells inside the body where they reside, natural selection favors whom? The body, the cells, neither, or both? We don't know, we have to see what the body will support. Next question: the ultimate evolutionary answer must be that the case of cancer cells, natural selection is acting in favor of. Natural selection is acting in favor of what? The body, the cells, neither or both. So by far it looks to be a little simple passage, because you see the options are also similar and they are also simple. They are also simple options, that is the cells, the body, the cells, the body. They are mentioning only about that. So it should be relatively easier passage for us. Next question: the cancer cells are thought of as selfish. See, the first question also was mentioning cancer cells as selfish. Here also they are mentioning the cancer cells as selfish. Why? Because they produce faster than is good for the health of the whole body. Natural selection favors it. Cancer is a disease. Cancer is an exception. We'll see. Fifth one: the case of cancer cells is an exception to the usual norm. Namely that when there is conflict between cells and body they reside in, natural selection favors the cell. Again, the options are same. It favors the body, plays no role, favors both. See, they are mentioning about 2 things over here. One, they have mentioned about the natural selection. Second one, they are mentioning about the cells, which is cancer cells. So let us look at the passage and it will be easier for us to answer. Let's read the passage. When there is conflict between cells and body they reside in, natural selection usually favors the body. See, this first line itself was a question for us. Correct? First line itself was a question for us. 1 second. See, when there is conflict between cells and the body they reside in, natural selection usually favors the body. They have only mentioned it over here. Usually favors the body. Usually favors the body. Here also it usually favors the body. So for second, the answer is A. See, when we are reading the questions, it will be easier for us. Otherwise, we might have to go back to confirm. Which can usually discipline the errant cells, especially because the cells don't have a life of their own outside the body. So they are telling that cells do not have the life outside the body. Okay, a well-known exception to this principle is that of cancer cells. So first they are mentioning that the cells don't have life outside the body, and later on they are mentioning about the exception, which can be thought of as a selfish cell attempting to reproduce faster than is good for the health of the whole body. They are mentioning that the cancer cell, that can be thought as a selfish cell because it attempts to reproduce faster than it is good for the health of whole body. So by far in science and technology, if you might have read, what is cancer or what is cancer cell? It is rapid multiplication of cells. rapid multiplication of cells. So this rapid multiplication of cells is decent, but if there is rapid multiplication of cells, then you call it as cancer. Then you call it as cancer. That itself they are mentioning that because those cells themselves rapidly multiply, you call it as cancer. You call it as cancer, and because of that only they are called as selfish cells. Now let's go and look at the selfish cell. Cancer cells are thought of as a selfish because they reproduce faster than it is good for the health of whole body. So here also fourth, the answer is A only, because they have mentioned about this directly. There is another question related to the common objection. In that also they have mentioned over about this. So we'll look at that also. Okay, they will look at that also. From the first line we got the answer for this thing. When there is conflict between cells and the body, they reside in natural selection usually favors the body, which we have seen. Natural favors the body. See, the same statements has been given over here. The case of cancer cell is an exception to the usual form. Namely that, why it is exception? Because when there is conflict between cells and the body, they reside in natural selection usually favors the body. Here also B is the answer. See, just by reading just 2 to 3 lines in the passage, we were able to answer around 3 questions already, correct? Which is second, fourth and fifth. Okay, we have answered 3 questions already. So here fifth, the answer is B. Let us carry on now. So a well-known exception to this principle is that cancer cells, which can be thought of as a selfish cell, attempting to reproduce faster than it is good for the body, it is good for the health of the whole body. In the end, of course, the cancer cells perish with the individual, but that does not explain why natural selection has not eliminated cancer altogether. Natural selection has not eliminated cancer altogether. A common objection to the interpretation of cancer cell as selfish is that they are abnormal, they are perhaps infected with virus, that cancer is a disease, and so on. Next answer also we have got, which is the first question. See here, they are asking this: what is the common objection or objections to the interpretation of the cancer cell as selfish? Here they are mentioning it as selfish because they are abnormal, they are infected with virus, and cancer is a disease, and so on. See, here also there is mention of cancer cells are as abnormal, they are perhaps infected with virus, cancer is a disease, D, all of the above. So the answer is here D, all of the above. So we have answered first question, second question, fourth question and fifth question. Only the third one is remaining. Okay, only the third one is remaining. Next one. So all this is true and pertinent to the proximate answer to the question of why cancer cells reproduced faster than is good for the body. But the ultimate evolutionary answer must be that natural selection in this case, in the case of cancer cell, is acting in favor of cells rather than the individual, that is rather than the body. Here the cancer cells are in favor of cells. So that answers the next question, that is third question. The ultimate evolutionary answer must be, in case of cancer cells, natural selection is acting in favor of cells over here. It is not body, correct? Cells over here, because they are telling it as in favor of cancer cells. That is evolutionary answer for the cancer cells. In this case it is acting for the cells, but normally it is acting for the body. So this was relatively small paragraph, and this was a easier paragraph also, because we have seen that a lot of questions were related only, and on the similar type of topic, on the similar type of keywords, they have asked the options also, so it will be easier for us to solve. See, in order to understand the explanation itself, it has taken nearly 10 minutes. So in that we might be able to solve 5 questions. So if you are solving it on your own self by implementing all these things, then it will be easier for you, because you'll be solving it even more in a even more rapid fashion. So I hope you have understood about this. I'll see you soon in the next one. Thank you.